I'm Eric Bauer, and I'm going to talk a little bit about Formula One racing today. So what's the fastest road car on four wheels? It's a Formula One car, traveling at 240 miles per hour and creating over 5 Gs of lateral force and acceleration and braking. Some history about Formula One is it started in 1906. It is the oldest form of motor racing in the world. There were talks of a world championship of Formula One starting in earliest 1930s, but World War II stopped all motor racing. And in 1950, racing and the world championship commenced. Races are called Grand Prix, which in French means grand prize, and they're held all over the world on purpose-built F1 circuits and public roads. Cars have changed drastically throughout the years. In the beginning, they were front-engine rear-wheel drive, later on becoming mid-engine rear-wheel drive cars. This is a 1950 Ferrari Formula One car, one of the first ever. You can tell the front-engine rear-wheel drive configuration, driver sitting behind the engine, large steering wheel, skinny rubber tires with tread. And about 30 years later, this is a 1983 Alfa Romeo Formula One car, the driver sitting almost directly over the front wheels with the engine behind him in a mid-engine rear-wheel drive configuration. There's a lot of space here for the V12 engine. Their larger front and rear tires are slicks, and it now has more aerodynamics with the front and rear spoiler. And even 30 more years, this is a 2016 Red Bull Renault, focusing solely on aerodynamics. Noticed by the front and rear spoilers, the side strakes, the intake above the engine, and really large slick tires. This is a view of the steering wheels throughout the years of Mercedes Formula One cars. This is a 1950 Formula One steering wheel. It's large, wrapped in leather, and as you can see throughout the years, they get smaller and have more controls on them, all the way up to the current model, which has everything from a map of the track in the center and every button to control the whole car from the steering wheel. Jonathan Nobles, an author of Formula One for Dummies, states that formula refers to a cars complying to a set of rules, and the one meaning the highest form of motor racing in the world. There are many teams in Formula One, and a constructor championship was added in 1958. The constructors are the makers of the cars, and they have many drivers in each team, and they wanted to also compete in the World Championship. The current CEO, Bernie Ecclestone, was formerly a team boss for 15 years of Brabham Automotive, and Bernie later rearranged the commercial rights and the TV rights of Formula One, which making it the billion-dollar company it is today, as said by ESPN on the history of Formula One. The top 4 constructors in Formula One are McLaren, Williams, Renault, and Ferrari. There are many engines in Formula One, starting with the turbo 4-cylinder was the oldest model, and then moving to a naturally aspirated V12, a naturally aspirated V10, a naturally aspirated V8, and then currently a V6 turbo. There are many drivers in Formula One. One of the oldest is Juan Manuel Fangio. He won one of the first ever world championships in 1951, and then won 4 consecutive after that. Ayrton Senna won 3 world championships, but later lost his life in 1994 when he slammed into a wall at the San Marino Grand Prix at 145 miles an hour. After Ayrton's death, F1 was major concern with safety, and no one has been killed since. Michael Schumacher is the most winning driver ever, winning 7 world championships, and Sebastian Vettel is the youngest to ever win a world championship at the age of 23, winning 4. Formula One is an exciting sport, and I encourage you all to check it out. And it's growing at an alarming rate, and it recently sold to a media group for $4.4 billion. Formula One will not disappoint, and I urge you to check it out. Thank you.